Well, welcome to the Jazz Jumpstart Show. I am your host, Jasmine Romaine, and I am so jazzed to be here on this Mission Moves Monday to start not only your Monday, but also the last week in this month of April. Yes, we are here for it. And I'm here to get you jazzed. So not only you can be able to have that excitement, but you can also speak life as well as understand business and how you amplify your mission. So if you never tuned into this show before, I welcome you and invite you to, by all means, subscribe to the channel so that way you can stay tuned for even more indications of whenever an amazing video comes on. And I'm so excited because you know how we do it over here. We like to show up. We like to show out. We like to be able to talk and jazz it up, but have a conversation so you can get out there amplifying your voice even more. So I'm Jasmine Romaine. I'm motivational speaker, transformation strategist. I am a light. And I'm most of all an advocate for joy, and my favorite title of it all. I'm a daughter of the King. So I love to be able to empower and inspire, but most of all, help you even more as you amplify your mission and amplify your voice. Yes, because the only way that you can be able to speak life and be able to speak business and have amazing opportunities come your way is to be able to understand the power of your voice. All right. So, how can we be able to get out there? And I want to share with you a couple of things. One of my notes, because I had some notes, it says voice your light. So that's what we're going to talk about. How can you voice your light? There's so many things out here that we want to be able to shine our light with, right? And I believe that we also can shine our light through using our voice. Yeah, your voice. Something you use every single day is how you can be able to be a light in the world. So I want to share with you how you can do just that and how you can amplify your voice even more so that way you can be a huge light in the world, spreading positivity, spreading hope, spreading inspiration, spreading possibilities out there just so you can be able to use the gifts and talents, your story that God has given you for others as well. And I'll share with you when I actually started using my light. And I didn't even realize that I was doing this was when I first started off in entrepreneurship. I remember when I was traveling from city to city looking for my next big gig in radio. And I kept going through so many different obstacles. I kept getting the no's, the rejections. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it was breaking a sister down. But one of the biggest things that I realized that in that season was that even though I may have felt rejection, I was also getting redirected towards more possibilities. So I'm sharing my story on subways, and I'm sharing my story on the streets and wherever I could, just to like tell people like, hey, I'm in the city, I'm looking for opportunities. So you know anyone who can help? But I didn't realize that in that moment that people would actually listen to my story because it was really deep. Because I was like, I just came to the city. I don't have any friends. I don't have any network. I rarely have any funds. I was telling people my genuine story, being absolutely transparent. This was before I was an entrepreneur. This was before I was a public speaker, but just telling people, whether it was one person or maybe a group and a circle of people, just getting help. But I didn't realize that my story that I was sharing with individuals was actually being a light for them, even though I was in distress. And so I'm saying that to tell you that many of you all have stories that maybe you're going through right now, stories that you perhaps have gone through, and you're not realizing that that story can be a huge light for somebody to help them, to inspire them. Because that's exactly what my story was doing. It was inspiring people, it was helping people. Now, of course, I was using my voice to inspire and be a light, but then of course I had to eventually find the tools and the resources to use so I can know how to not only be a light in the world, but also how I could monetize my message and be able to still do the same things that I do every day, to be who I am every day, not having to change my personality, and to really understand how I could be who God had made me to be just by speaking my story, my experiences. Now, here's the beautiful thing, world changer. I have an experience, you have an experience, we all have these different types of experiences, right? But nobody's experiences is going to be the exact same. Somebody's going to have something absolutely different in their story. There are plot twists and all these other different things that go on in stories, but all of it is to inspire. So we need each other's stories. So I want to share with you a couple of points so you can know how you can be able to use your voice and be a light in the world. And I'm going to jazz it up and share with you also some ways you can monetize your message as well. So number one, the first thing that you can do to be able to use your voice and be a light is to tell your story. Are you telling your story? Are you getting out there and actually sharing with people the vulnerability? Now, so many times, we perhaps don't want to share what we're going through right now, and that's understandable. Trust me, I know what that's like. I remember when I was going through changes, like looking for how I was going to pay rent, and it was really, really hard for me at one time. And I was not telling people that part of the story. Those were hidden stories for a later time, right? But when I realized that I overcame that situation and that I was able to now put together how I could inspire people, that was a season that I went through, but I came out of it, I was able to help even more people. So how can you share your story? What are things that you can share now that will help somebody? Maybe you have come through or overcame a situation that you're now able to share. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to start off with an arena-sized field of individuals to be able to share your story. You can be able to share your story with maybe the person who's in front of you, maybe someone who you're talking to, maybe a group of 5, a group of even 1. There's no difference to how you can share your story, but the whole part is for you to start using your voice so that way you understand that your voice is a light. Now, there's scripture that says this, and I love it so much. It says in Genesis, when God created the heavens and the earth, he wanted the heavens to be open and the light to come into the world. And he said, let there be light. And as a result of, he spoke a thing and there was light, right? And so it lets you know how powerful that God is, that he could speak and it could come. And I believe that we all have a God power in us because he lives in us. He lives in us, right? And so with him living in us, we have the ability to be able to speak life as well as be able to create possibilities for wealth and amazing things to happen just because we're speaking life, right? And so a lot of that comes from our story. What story can we be able to know that we overcame and be able to speak life with as well? So start telling your story. The second thing that you can be able to do to start being a voice and a light is to encourage someone. Maybe you don't have a story just yet to be able to share, but maybe you want to share an encouraging word. And there's something so important about being able to encourage someone with some amazing words. People love to be encouraged. And one thing in life that we're always going to need is someone to uplift our soul. That is going to be the number one need, I believe, right? Because as your soul is strengthened, guess what? You truly can believe that God told you can do all things because your soul is now feeling it. And as your soul feels it, it just radiates on the outside even more. So you want to be able to do that. I know that whenever people tell me, especially even brands, you think about Nike telling you just do it. Don't you know that just gives you some motivation that you can just do it, And when you think about other brands that are giving you, even when I think about Burger King says, have it your way. All right now. So I can have it my way. That means I can have it my way with possibilities. You think about slogans and you think about people who are just speaking life to you, but making you feel some kind of way when they're speaking things that your spirit loves, right? So that's the same thing with you. As you're speaking these words to individuals, that you can speak something that can ignite their spirit, that can get them jazzed about success, and that they can get out there and say, wow, I now have a big light on me because something was spoken in my life and on my spirit, right? And so that's the whole point of having your voice be a light in the world. So you can be a light. The next thing I want to share, because I share with you how to tell your story, to speak life to somebody. The next thing that I want to share with you is to have a tone that is actually going to be a tone that is receptive. So many times we can have tones that could just sound like, oh, I don't want to be bothered, or oh, you're irritating me, or something like that. But when we watch our tone and actually have a tone that actually has a cheerful tone, right? It actually allows you to be able to be more receptive. Your voice has so much power, and people can hear tone in every single thing that we're talking up, right? So if I gave you this message and I told you, hey, get out there and do something, get out there and do something, just do it, have it your way. That tone itself sounds like, oh, I'm not receiving that. Have it your way. It just sounds all sorts of ill. But if I say, just do it, have it your way, the tonality of it is actually something that speaks life. I'm not telling you, you got to be like Jasmine all the time and be joyful, but that tone is something that is absolutely something people can receive. It's how you say things. And that's why with communications, as we're speaking with individuals, it's not sometimes what you say, it's what you say and how you say it that it is receptive on, and how you're perceiving how that person is really communicating, because you can have a sharp tongue that can really pierce a heart. Just like think about when people are angry and they're saying things that it can really hurt, right? But then when they say something, they can say the same thing perhaps, and then it doesn't even sound rude and you could take it as a joke, right? So there are different types of tonalities that we can use to be able to speak life. Because we want to be able to speak life. So it could be like these flowers behind me and blossom, right? So that's what we want to do. So now I want to share with you and jazz it up just a little bit on how you can be able to monetize your message, because you understand how to be able to let your voice be a light, but then how can you allow that light to be able to create currency that works for you? And the number one thing that you want to be able to do is to continue to build your following. You know, you may start at one, and that's okay. Can I let you all know I started at like 1 and 2, and then it kept counting and counting, and then I became world changer, where I work with individuals all over the world. But at first, I started off right in my hometown. I started right there. And then from there, it just kept moving and kept growing, kept moving and shaking, right? And so I say that for you, that you want to build your following. And there are different ways to be able to do that, that you can be able to continue to build your following, that you can be able to have people who will continue to not only follow you, but then also want to work with you. The second thing is to be able to have a solution. What is the solution that you will be able to have that somebody can be able to use right now? Now, we love having the opportunity to speak life, but there's a solution that you have within that speaking life that people need. I know I am a huge advocate for helping people get jazzed, but then there's also a solution that nobody else can do but Jasmine Romaine for individuals. And that could be helping you not only get jazzed, but also be able to help you to speak your story with clarity and confidence, so you can get out there and have captivating messages that pull in your audience, right? So I do all of that, but it only can come from me. Now, there are plenty of other people out there who can do things that could help you tell a story, but ain't nobody can do it like Jasmine Romaine. Right? And so when you have a solution and you know that you are different from a whole marketplace of other individuals, you now understand that you are needed in the marketplace, right? And so that's a big thing that you want to have. You want to have that solution, and you want to have the differentiator factor. And then last but not least, and then we're going to wrap up, because I want to continue to speak life and help you even more as you do that. I want to help you to understand that not only is it to have the elements that I taught you, but the last thing that I want you to share or to know is that you have value. There's somebody out there who is going to need exactly what you have. But now we have to stop looking at it as, how can I just give? But what is it that I can do to be able to monetize and actually make it into a workable business? Now, I don't like to push things, and you shouldn't want to push things into just sales all the time. But look at it like this. If you position your work and your gifts and your talents, then it's always going to be an opportunity that there is value in it. It's value anyway, because you are gifted in what it is that you do. And so as you're looking at this, find the value that you have to understand that you are worth having a currency value on it to be able to price it. When I wrote my book, Speak to Profit, How to Speak with Confidence and Jazz Up Your Sales, one of the things that I wanted to take away was the pressure of actually making sales, because as we are selling, something about our spirit sometimes doesn't really align and we're feeling like we're pushing. But what are natural, organic ways that we can actually sell and actually not even feel like we're selling? It's like people just feel like they want what it is that you have to offer without you even making it a sales type of push. I worked in sales a long time. One of the biggest things that I wasn't really into was pushing a sell. For me, it felt horrible. And I felt like sometimes that person didn't want it. And I know sometimes my leaders would say it's a mindset thing. But to me, it just wasn't in alignment. I'm a type of person who likes to have fun. I like to jazz things up. And so as I started doing things the way I liked it, I started seeing results. And it wasn't any more of sales. It was building relationships that allowed those relationships to now have an economic value. And with that economic value, it was now allowing business transactions, but then meaningful relationships where they understood the value that I had as a business, right? And so that's what Speak to Profit, How to Speak with Confidence and Jazz Up Your Sales is all about. It's taking the pressure off of the sales aspect and now bringing in how you can have meaningful connections that allow you to still bring in sales, but where it comes out effortlessly. So once you understand this, you understand the value that you have just as well. And that allows you now to be able to go into possibility land of amazingness, right? And that's what we are here for. And so those are the things that I want to share with you today. I am so excited, you all, because I have a challenge that's coming up very, very soon, and I want you to get involved. So in the description down below, you will see my website. And as you click on that website, sign up for my mailing list, because I'm going to be sharing with you information on how you can register for this challenge that's coming up. Now, let me tell you a little bit about what this challenge is going to do. It's going to help you not only where you're going to be able to speak your light, but it's going to help you where you're going to be able to speak and understand how to have confidence and get out there sharing your message. So if you've never done this, whether you're in corporate or you're an entrepreneur, this is an opportunity for you to get the confidence you need to be able to speak your story. So get on the wait list, go to my website. It's in the description down below, and sign up so that way you can be the first to know when this amazing challenge is going to be released, because it's coming real soon and I'm so excited. So if you haven't tuned in, of course, if you haven't subscribe to the channel, and make sure you stay tuned even more, because I have more for you that's going to help you to elevate to your next level. So until next time, I'll talk to you soon. Jasmine Romaine here, helping you stay jazzed about success and helping you to amplify your voice and your mission. I'll talk to you soon.